Greetings, YouTube. Today I'll be talking about a Killer Croc figure. This is, of course, from the DC Batman universe. And this particular one, to my mind, really captures the animalistic nature of the character. Though I am intrigued as why he has cybernetic armor here and it has an iron jaw. I think that's a little weird. Now, interestingly, the jaw is a soft sculpt. So he has this incredible large overbite, but then he has this metal jaw that comes down. I prefer Killer Croc when he's a little bit slightly less monster-like, but the arms are very evocative. They did a nice job with this. So he stands well, as you can see. The tail has been flattened to facilitate that. Nice big wide feet. Articulation on this is somewhat limited. You have hip motion. The tail is immobile. You have shoulder motion, and you only get a rotation. And the arms, while they're soft, so you got some give, there is no other articulation. And the head has some mobility, which is nice because you can kind of give him he can be looking over his shoulder or something like that, which I quite like. And this, actually, no, does he have elbows? He does have elbows. I'm sorry, my apologies. He does have elbows, but no wrists. And this here is of a slightly harder plastic than these are. So this has more give than the biceps do. And with this belt in here, he has this, to me, he has this very kind of martial art thing going on there. Like it's like almost like it's like a gi belt. You know what I mean? Something you'd see out of some kind of a wushu film or something like that, or a comic book. I don't know what the purpose for the really huge thick belt other than stylistically is. I don't know what particular line he is from. I think he's from one of the animated series, but I don't know which series it is, because he has more of a simplistic build to my mind than some of the details you saw in some of the animation, because the animated series were not all equally consistent when it came to design features. But the skin nodules here that give the classic crocodile, the tail and everything, he is very much an animalistic Killer Croc. Now, in the original Killer Croc, he was a human that had a skin condition that made him have a crocodile-like skin texture. A real condition that exists in the real world. But over the decades, he's becoming more and more animal-like. And that's okay, because I happen to have a thing for anthropomorphic figures. In this particular case, the figure has gone from being fully human to becoming less than fully human. And the jaw, well, the jaw doesn't really stay open, so it kind of, stay closed rather, so you don't have many options. You can close it, but it's just going to come back open again, or you can open up all the way, and it's going to bounce back a little. So it wants to kind of rest in that position right there. But having said that, it is an effectively dangerous appearing jaw. It looks, you don't want somebody like this thing biting down on you. I also don't think you'd want to have a jaw like that, because it would probably make eating and speaking really difficult. I would prefer he had more of an organic jaw myself. You could explain the armor up here and such as that armor, but it looks like it's very much built into his body now, which I think is a little weird. So if somebody could explain to me why that is so, I would really appreciate it. But he has a really good crocodilian vibe to him. Here we go. He does stand, though it helps if you kind of pull the arms down like this, if his center of gravity is kind of over the center mass. If you put the arms way out here, he's going to tip over on you. But you can bring him in kind of like this. You can, almost like you can get one guy out, but you can't really get two in the bent elbow position. But those are big hands, nasty claws, which are not the primary weapon of crocodiles. But in this case, it looks like he's definitely going to be using the hands as much as he is going to be using his mechanical jaw here. So if anybody out there can tell me which particular DC run this is from, I'd appreciate that. I just happen to really like the character, and he has a nice heft to him. He's got a very nice solid feel to him. I think this would actually put up with a fair amount of abuse at the hands of a child, though I would be concerned about losing that jaw or having that jaw torn off. That's the weak point on this particular figure. The rest of it is pretty bulletproof. So if anybody could tell me why he's a cyborg, that'd be really cool.